There are so many more online entrepreneurs making good money than you could possibly imagine. And if you want to be one of those entrepreneurs, we're going to talk about the top 3 ways you can do that in this video. But first, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Okay, so let's start with business number 3 because it requires you to be the least tech savvy. And that business is starting a web design company. Owning a web design company can start off a lot simpler than you might imagine. You just create some cards or create a website and tell people that you can create websites. I did this back in the day a few years ago, and I literally started getting customers from the day that I launched my business. If you're around any communities, whether it's work or church or school or anything like that, you'll find that everybody needs a website and everybody knows somebody that needs a website. So your business can grow pretty fast. Now, this business gets a lot of traffic, but you can also make a lot of money because you can charge $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 for a very nice website, especially depending on what the business actually does. If the business needs a really basic website, you can charge them maybe $500. If it's a really advanced business, maybe a law firm or a bigger business that needs more pages, you could charge up to $10,000 if you want to. That means if you can work your way up to charging $5,000 per website and you build 3 a month, you're making $15,000 per month by building 3 websites. And if that doesn't sound crazy to you, you might not know how simple it is to build a website. So let me show you how I would do it if I was doing it all over again starting today. It's very simple. I would use WordPress. WordPress is basically a drag and drop website builder, but it's probably on the more advanced side of drag and drop website builders. One of the beautiful things about WordPress is that it usually comes free when you purchase a domain. So of course you're charging the customer for the domain, and then you get the WordPress site for free. And then you don't have to pay any sort of monthly fee for that WordPress site once you set it up. And the secret to this is that you have WordPress templates. You can go to a site like ThemeForest and find hundreds or thousands of templates. So for example, someone hires you and they want a wedding website, and they hire you to create that website for them, and their budget is $2,000. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come to a website like this, like ThemeForest, and you're gonna come to the wedding templates. And your budget is $2,000, so you have a lot of wiggle room. You see some for $50, for about $80, you see some for $30. But since you want to charge that premium price and grow your business, let's just take a look at the $80 template because it's the most expensive one. All right, so this is the template that you would end up getting. And this is what the website would look like. You just change the wording on there. You use a little bit of ChatGPT, swap some of this out. You ask a couple for some of their photos and you just replace some of these stock photos that they have in here with their photos. You can put all their pictures on there, charge them an extra fee for that, charge them an extra fee for some blog posts, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, you're charging someone $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 for something that's gonna cost you about $100. Once you get really good at this, it only takes about a day to set up a website. So think about it this way. If you can work your way up to charging $3,000 per site and make a site in a day, you're worth over $1 million per year. All right, this second business is another business that can earn a lot of money, but you have to be just a little bit more tech savvy. And with this type of business, you don't necessarily have to know how to code. You can get away with not knowing how to code, but you have to at least know about code and what it does. And that business is freelancing. Freelancing is basically what it sounds like. Someone needs something coded, you code it for them. There are websites like Upwork where you can come and you can post jobs and you can come and take jobs. It's a lot like Fiverr. As you can see here, there are people charging their hourly rate. Some people are, as you can see, charging $60 per hour. Some people are charging $25 per hour. If you have any technical skills, you can go in there and find jobs where people will pay you by the hour for the work that you do. Okay, so some insider secrets that a lot of people who are freelancing don't take advantage of. Number 1 is outsourcing. You can take a little bit smaller of a profit in order to free up some of your time. So for example, if someone wants some C++ code written for $60 an hour, then you go find someone that's willing to write that code for $40 an hour and you take the $20 difference. You may not make as much per job doing this, but it does free you up as far as time. And it also makes you more diverse as a company because you can work on tech stacks that you don't necessarily know or haven't mastered yourself, by outsourcing. So after a while, you could really automate everything, the scheduling of the engineers, matching the jobs to the engineer, you can eventually hire in-house engineers and be a full-blown development company. So insider tip number 2, if you're doing web development or app development or freelancing, it's better to specialize. So for example, if you're doing web design, it's probably better to specialize in weddings themselves and parties than to just be a general web design company. You might get more work doing weddings only. For example, I do development work for people, but for the most part, I only work on trading algorithms. So if someone asks me to build a website, I just tell them it's not really what I do. And that brings me to online business number 3. Automated investing. Now, this business requires that you be the most tech savvy out of the 3 businesses we're going to talk about today, but this business can be a little bit more passive and built for what you would call an introvert, because it's one of the few businesses that you can create online income and eliminate the client or customer aspect of the business. Which means that at the end of the day, you kind of don't need anyone. You don't need any of that customer service. You don't need any sales. You don't really need any marketing or anything like that, like you need with the web development business and the freelancing business. Now, the things that you need in order to succeed in this is a good strategy and a good platform. So as far as strategy, I would recommend keep it extremely simple. A lot of people want to day trade and swing trade and things like that because they think they're going to make more money. When at the end of the day, people don't realize that you could actually make more money by sticking to the tried and true investments that have been making people money for years. So the first thing I think everyone should know when they're creating a strategy is Dow theory. It's the basic outline of technical analysis and how you apply it to financial markets. The Dow theory basically talks about trends. What are trends? What makes a trend? What does a trend reversal look like? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to investing, you are essentially trying to catch a trend or catch a trend reversal. So Dow theory definitely comes in handy. Now, the Dow theory talks about trends and not as much about consolidations, which is the moment in the market where it's flat. It's not trending up and it's not trending down. If you do want to get a little bit more advanced and study consolidations on top of Dow theory, I would recommend that you study Wyckoff analysis. Wyckoff analysis is based off of the research and teachings of this man here, Richard DeMille Wyckoff. And just like Dow theory is basically the staple for trend analysis, Wyckoff analysis is the staple for consolidation analysis. Richard Wyckoff's teachings on consolidation goes into really extreme detail on consolidations, when they start, what they look like when they start, what happens in between a consolidation, what happens when a consolidation is about to turn into a trend, what it looks like when that trend has started and when it pulls back, etc. So very, very valuable teaching. I would recommend anyone who wants to be a little bit more advanced as far as investing, especially short-term investing, recommend looking into his teachings. And when it comes to the tools that you're going to use for automated investing, there are essentially 3 levels. There is a very beginner level, there is an intermediate level, and then there's a more advanced level. Now let's start with the beginner level. The beginner level is using other people's tools for automated investing. A couple of examples that I want to point out are Acorns, where they basically take your extra change and invest it in the markets. And there's also an app called Stash that does something similar. It's more active investing, but you can pick different methods of investing. You can basically easily create a portfolio and invest in things that you care about. With apps like this, you can have a pretty diverse portfolio and put very little work into analysis and things like that. Now, when it comes to intermediate level automated investing, you probably want a little bit more control. You probably want to go for a bigger return. At this level, I would really recommend that you learn how to write some basic code. You can come to a free website like W3 Schools and learn everything you need to know about any coding language that you're going to need for automated investing. If you want to keep it very simple, I would say stick with C++. If you're going to stay at the intermediate level of investing, just stick with C++, learn the basics, call it a day. If you're going to move into the more advanced realms of automated investing, you're going to be investing for other people, you like the idea of starting a hedge fund, you like the idea of trading multiple different markets, more advanced markets like options and futures and currencies, then I would say learn Python instead. Now, Python is a little bit easier to learn than C++, so it will get you far as advanced automated investing. The reason why I say learn C++ instead said, if you're going to stay at that intermediate level and not move to the more advanced levels, is because there is a platform that's extremely popular for automated investing that makes it pretty easy if you know some basic code. And that platform is called MetaTrader. You can invest on there, you can write code on there, you can run code on there, and it basically makes everything really integrated. And if you're interested in pre-built automated investing strategies, make sure you check out fxterminal.io. There is a growing list of strategies coming to fxterminal.io. It's where I'll be putting all my strategies. And there's also a sleek dashboard where you can track your performance and see other cool metrics. Now, if you're going for the more advanced method of automated investing, like I said, I would recommend that you learn Python. A really good platform that I'd recommend to be able to essentially trade anything and everything that you want to with automated strategies is Interactive Brokers. You can always come to Interactive Brokers and do a free trial and learn to trade the different markets that you're interested in. Going down this route, you also have to be familiar with something called an API, or Application Programming Interface. You can think of an API as basically the way that two computers talk to each other. And when it comes to this level of automated investing, you're essentially going to have to use your computer to talk to the broker's computer. I know it sounds really complicated, but it's really not that bad at the end of the day. Every app that wants to be talked to usually has documentation telling you how to talk to that app. And Interactive Brokers is no different. They basically have a guide that tells you how to do anything and everything that you could possibly need to do on the trading platform. And this is definitely the most technical method of creating online income, but you can work your way up to owning a quant hedge fund or a family office. Anyway, those are the top 3 methods people are using today to create 6-figure and up incomes online. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, please subscribe. See you in the next one.